In pre-fall 1945, visitors are accumulated for the wedding after party of Don Vito Corleone's girl Connie, Dahlia Shire, and Carlo Rizzi, Gianni Russo. Vito, Marlon Brando, the top of the Corleone mafia family, is referred to companions and partners as backup parent. He and Tom Hagen, Robert Duvall, the Corleone family legal counselor, are hearing solicitations for favors on the grounds that, as per Italian custom, no Sicilian can deny a solicitation on his little girl's big day. One of the ones who asks the Don for some help is Amerigo Bonacera, an effective undertaker and colleague of the Don, whose girl was ruthlessly beaten by two youngsters since she declined their advances. The men got negligible discipline from the directing adjudicator. The Don is disheartened in Bonacera, who'd kept away from most contact with the Don because of Corleone's detestable transactions. The Don's better half is guardian to Bonacera's disgraced girl, a relationship the Don uses to extricate new devotion from the funeral director. The Don consents to have his men rebuff the young fellows capable, in a non-deadly way, as a trade-off for future assistance if vital. In the interim, the Don's most youthful child Michael, Al Pacino, an enlivened U.S. Marine saint getting back from World War II help, shows up at the wedding and tells his better half Kay Adams, Diane Keaton, accounts about his family, illuminating her with regards to his dad's criminal life. He consoles her that he is unique in relation to his family and doesn't plan to go along with them in their criminal dealings. The wedding scene fills in as basic work for the rest of the film, as Michael acquaints the primary characters with Kay. Fredo, John Cazale, Michael's next more established sibling, is a piece imbecilic and very alcoholic when he tracks down Michael at the party. Santino, who is nicknamed Sonny, James Caan, the Don's oldest youngster and next in line to become Don upon his dad's retirement, is hitched. However, he is a hot-tempered adulterer who slips into a room to have intercourse with one of Connie's bridesmaids, Lucy Mancini, Jeannie Linero. Tom Hagen isn't connected with the family by blood, however is viewed as one of the Don's children since he was destitute when he got to know Sonny in the Little Italy neighborhood of Manhattan, and the Don took him in and saw to Tom's childhood and training. Presently a capable lawyer, Tom is being prepped for the significant place of consigliere, instructor, to the Don, in spite of his non-Sicilian legacy. Additionally, among the visitors at the festival is the well-known artist Johnny Fontane, Al Martino, Corleone's godson, who has come from Hollywood to appeal to Vito's assistance in handling a film job that will renew his hailing profession. Jack Woltz, John Marley, the top of the studio, denies Fontane the section, a person similar as Johnny himself, which will make him a significantly greater star. Yet Don Corleone discloses to Johnny, "I will make him a deal he can't afford to ignore." The Don additionally gets complimentary welcome from Luca Brasi, an alarming master in the criminal hidden world, and takes care of a solicitation from the bread cook who made Connie's wedding cake, who wants for his nephew Enzo to turn into an American resident. After the wedding, Hagen is dispatched to Los Angeles to meet with Woltz, yet Woltz furiously lets him know that he won't ever projected Fontane in the job. Woltz holds resentment on the grounds that Fontane allured and destroyed a diva who Woltz had been prepping for fame and with whom he had a sexual relationship. Woltz is convinced to give Johnny the job, nonetheless, when he gets up promptly the following morning and feels something wet in his bed. He pulls back the sheets and winds up in a pool of blood. He shouts with dismay when he finds the cut-off top of his valued $600,000 stud horse, Khartoum, in the bed with him. An erased scene from the film suggests that Luca Brasi, Lenny Montana, Vito's top button man or assassin, is capable. Upon Hagen's return, the family meets with Virgil the Turk Saatso, Al Lettieri, who is being supported by the adversary Tattaglia family. He asks Don Corleone for financing as well as political and legitimate insurance for bringing in and disseminating heroin. Notwithstanding the gigantic benefit to be made, Vito Corleone denies, clarifying that his political impact would be risked by a move into the opiates exchange. The adjudicators and government officials he's aligned himself with throughout the span of a very long while would revoke their kinships with him if he somehow happened to enter the medication exchange. The Don's oldest child, Sonny, who had prior asked the family to enter the opiates exchange, breaks rank during the gathering and starts to scrutinize Satso's confirmations concerning the Corleone family's venture being insured by the Tattaglia family. His dad, furious at Sonny's dispute in a non-relative's quality, quiets Sonny with a solitary look and secretly censures him later. Where Corleone then, at that point, dispatches Luca Brasi to invade Satso's association and report back with data. During the gathering, while Brasi is twisted around to permit Bruno Tattaglia to light his cigarette, he is wounded in the hand by Satso, and is thusly garroted by a professional killer. Not long after his gathering with Satso, Don Corleone is gunned down in a death endeavor right external his office, and it isn't quickly known whether he has made due. Fredo Corleone had been doled out driving and security obligation for his dad when Paulie Gatto, the Don's typical guardian, had phoned in wiped out. Fredo ends up being ineffective, bumbling with his weapon and incapable to shoot back. At the point when Sonny finds out about the Don being shot and Paulie's non-appearance, he arranges Clemenza, Richard Castellano, to track down Paulie and carry him to the Don's home. Satso steals Tom Hagen and convinces him to offer Sonny the arrangement recently proposed to his dad. Whenever Tom is delivered, Satso gets word that the Don has endured the endeavor on his life. He irately advises Tom to convince Sonny to acknowledge his proposition. Incensed, Sonny won't think about it and issues a final proposal to the Tattaglias: turn over Satso or face an extended, horrendous and expensive, for the two sides, posse war. They reject, and on second thought send Sonny a Sicilian message, as two new fish enclosed by Luca Brasi's tactical armor carrier, let the Corleones know that Luca Brasi lays down with the fishes. Clemenza later takes Paulie and one of the family's assassins, Rocco Lampone, for a crash into Manhattan. Sonny needs to take care of business, set up beds in condos for Corleone button men to work out of if the wrongdoing war breaks out. Returning from Manhattan, Clemenza has Paulie stop the vehicle in a distant region so he can pee. Rocco shoots Paulie dead. He and Clemenza abandon Paulie and the vehicle. Michael, whom the other mafia families consider a regular citizen and not associated with horde business, visits his dad at a little private clinic. He is stunned to see that nobody is monitoring him. A medical attendant lets him know that the men were obstructing emergency clinic strategy and were informed to leave by the police concerning 10 minutes before Mike's appearance. Understanding that his dad is again being set up to be killed, he calls Sonny for help, moves his dad to another room, and goes outside to watch the entry. Michael enrolls help from Enzo the bread cook, Gabrielle Try, who has come to the medical clinic to offer his appreciation. Together, they feign away Satso's men as they drive by. Squad cars before long seem bringing the bad Captain McCluskey, Sterling Hayden, who violently punches Michael in the cheek and breaks his jaw when Michael implies that Satso paid McCluskey to set up his dad. All of a sudden, Hagen shows up with investigators for hire authorized to convey firearms to safeguard Don Corleone, and he takes the harmed Michael home. Sonny reacts by having Bruno Tattaglia, Tony Giorgio, the oldest child and underboss of Don Philip Tattaglia, Victor Rendina, killed, behind the scenes. Following the endeavor on the Don's life at the medical clinic, Satso demands a gathering with the Corleones, which Captain McCluskey will go to as Satso's protector. At the point when Michael volunteers to kill the two men during the gathering, Sonny and the other senior family individuals are entertained. Nonetheless, Michael persuades them that he is significant and that killing Satso and McCluskey is to the family's advantage. It's not private. It's stringently business. Because Michael is viewed as a non-military personnel, he will not be viewed as a dubious envoy for the Corleones. Despite the fact that cops are for the most part untouchable for hits, Michael contends that since McCluskey is bad and has illicit dealings with So, he is fair game. Michael additionally suggests that journalists that the Corleones have on their finance would take pleasure in distributing anecdotes about a bad police commander. Michael meets with Clemenza, one of his dad's Caporagimes, commanders, who readies a little gun for him, covering the trigger and hold with tape to forestall any unique mark proof. He trains Michael about the legitimate method for playing out the death and advises him to abandon the weapon. He likewise lets Michael know that the family were all exceptionally glad for Michael for turning into a conflict saint during his administration in the Marines. Clemenza shows extraordinary certainty that Michael can play out the gig and lets him know it will all go without a hitch. The arrangement is to have the Corleones' sources discover the area of the gathering and plant the pistol before Michael, So and McCluskey show up. Before the gathering in a little Italian eatery, McCluskey searches Michael for weapons and thinks that he is spotless. Following a couple of moments where Michael and So chat in Italian, Michael pardons himself to go to the washroom, where he recovers the established pistol. Getting back to the table, he lethally shoots So, then, at that point, Michael is shipped off stowaway in Sicily while the Corleone family plans for full-scale fighting with the five families, who are joined against the Corleones, as well as an overall clampdown on the horde by the police and government specialists. At the point when the wearer gets back from the medical clinic, he is upset to discover that it was Michael who killed So and McCluskey. In the interim, Connie and Carlo's marriage is crumbling. They contend freely over Carlo's speculated treachery and his possessive conduct toward Connie. By Italian custom, no one, not so much as a high-positioning mafia weir, can intercede in a wedded couple's very own debates, regardless of whether they include unfaithfulness, cash, or homegrown maltreatment. At some point, Sunny sees an injury all over and she lets him know that Carlo hit her after she inquired as to whether he was engaging in extramarital relations. Sunny finds and seriously beats Carlo in a packed road for mistreating the pregnant Connie, and takes steps to kill Carlo assuming he at any point mishandles Connie once more. A furious Carlo reacts by plotting with Tattaglia and Don Emilio Barzini, Richard Conte, the Corleone's central adversaries, to have Sunny killed. Afterward, Carlo has one of his fancy women telephone his home, realizing that Connie will reply. The lady requests that Connie tell Carlo not to meet her this evening. The exceptionally pregnant and upset Connie pitches a fit, tossing the plates with their supper around the kitchen and afterward breaking everything in the eating. He exploits the quarrel to beat Connie to bait Sunny out in the open and away from the Corleone compound. Whenever Connie telephones the compound to tell Sunny that Carlo has beaten her once more, the angered Sunny drives off, alone and unescorted, to satisfy his danger against Carlo. En route to Connie and Carlo's home, Sunny is trapped at a tollgate on the Long Island Causeway and viciously shot to no end by a few carloads of hired gunmen using Thompson sub-assault rifles. Tom Hagen transfers the insight about Sunny's slaughter to the Don, who asks for help from Bonacera to buy deal with the treating of Sunny's body. Instead of looking for retribution for Sunny's killing, Don Corleone meets with the tops of the five families to arrange a truce. Not exclusively is the contention depleting every one of their resources and compromising their endurance, yet finishing it is the main way that Michael can get back securely. Turning around his past choice, Vito concurs that the Corleone family will give political insurance to Tattaglia's traffic in heroin, as long as it is controlled and not offered to youngsters. At the gathering, Don Corleone derives that Don Barzini, not Tattaglia, was at last behind the beginning of the crowd war and Sunny's demise, notwithstanding giving early indications of feebleness. In Sicily, Michael persistently holds up out his exile, safeguarded by Don Tomasino, Caradogba, an old family companion. Michael carelessly meanders the open country, joined by his always-present protectors, Calo, Franco City, and Fabrizio, Angelo Infanti. In a little town, Michael meets and falls head over heels for Apollonia Vitelli, Simonetta Stefanelli, the wonderful youthful girl of a bar proprietor. They court and wed in the customary Sicilian design, yet soon Michael's essence becomes known to Corleone foes. As the couple is going to be moved to a more secure area, Apollonia is killed because of a manipulated vehicle, initially expected for Michael, detonating on start. Michael, who saw the vehicle detonates, spots Fabrizio quickly leaving the grounds seconds before the blast, embroiling him in the death plot. In an erased scene, Fabrizio is found years after the fact and killed. With his well-being ensured, Michael gets back. Over a year after the fact, in 1950, he reunites with his previous sweetheart Kay following a sum of 4 years of partition, 3 in Italy and 1 in America. He tells her he needs them to be hitched. In spite of the fact that Kay is harmed that he stood by so long to reach her, she acknowledges his proposition. With Don Vito semi-resigned, Sonny dead, and center sibling Fredo considered unequipped for maintaining the privately run company, Michael is presently in control. He guarantees Kay he will make the privately owned company totally genuine inside 5 years. After 2 years, Clemenza and Salvatore Tessio, Abe Vigoda, gripe that they are being moved around by the Barzini family and request that consent strike back, yet Michael denies the solicitation. He intends to move the family activities to Nevada, and from that point onward, Clemenza and Tessio might split away to shape their own families in the New York region. Michael further guarantees Connie's better half, Carlo, that he will be his right-hand man in Nevada. Carlo had grown up there, uninformed about his part in Sonny's death. Tom Hagen has been taken out as consigliere and is currently only the family's attorney, with Vito filling in as consigliere. Secretly, Hagen asks about his adjustment of status, and furthermore questions Michael about another system of troopers covertly being worked under Rocco Lampone, Tom Roski. Where Vito discloses to Hagen that Michael is following up on his recommendation. 1 more year or so later, Michael goes to Las Vegas and meets with Mo Green, Alex Rocco, a rich and smart club supervisor hoping to grow his transactions. After the Don's endeavored death, Fredo had been shipped off Las Vegas to find out with regards to the club business from Green. Michael egotistically offers to purchase out Green yet is inconsiderately rebuked. Green accepts the Corleones are powerless and that he can get a more ideal arrangement from Barzini. As Mo and Michael heatedly arrange, Fredo sides with Mo. Thereafter, Michael cautions Fredo to at absolutely no point in the future favor one side with anybody against the family. Michael gets back. In a private second, Vito clarifies his assumption that the family's adversaries will endeavor to kill Michael by utilizing a confided-in partner to organize a gathering as a guise for death. Vito additionally uncovers that he had never truly expected an existence of wrongdoing for Michael, trusting that his most youthful child would hold authentic power as a representative or lead representative. A few months after the fact, Vito implodes and bites the dust while playing with his young grandson, Anthony Gallinares, in his tomato garden. At the entombment, Tessio conveys a proposition for a gathering with Barzini, which recognizes Tessio as the swindler that Vito was anticipating. Kay inquires as to whether he'll consent to be guardian to Connie and Carlo's infant child. Michael concurs and takes advantage of the chance to wipe out rivalry from the other 5 families while likewise involving the sanctification as an explanation. The killings happen at the same time during the function. Where Strixi, Don Costello, is gunned down alongside his guardian in a lodging lift by a shotgun using Clemenza. Mo Green is killed while having a back rub, shot through the eye by an unidentified professional killer. Where Cuneo, Rudy Bond, is caught in a spinning entryway at the St. Regis Hotel and shot dead by Officer Willie Sisai, Joe Spinel. Where Tattaglia is killed in bed, alongside a whore, by Rocco Lampone and an obscure partner. Where Barzini is killed on the means of his place of business alongside his guardian and driver, shot by Al Neri, Richard Bright, camouflaged in his old police uniform. After the submersion, Tessio accepts he and Hagen are en route to the gathering among Michael and Bartzini that he has organized. All things considered, he is encircled by Willie Sasai and other button men as Hagen steps away. Understanding that Michael has revealed his treachery, Tessio lets Hagen know that he generally regarded Michael, and that his unfaithfulness was just business. He inquires as to whether Tom can get him off for bygone era's purpose, however Tom says he can't. Tessio is driven away and gone forever. It is inferred that Sasai shoots and kills Tessio with his own weapon after he incapacitates him before entering the vehicle. In the interim, Michael goes up against Carlo about Sonny's homicide and powers him to concede his part in setting up the trap, having been drawn nearer by Bartzini himself. The assassins who killed Sonny were the center individuals from Bartzini's own protector. Michael guarantees Carlo he won't be killed, however his discipline is rejection from all privately run company. He hands Carlo a boarding pass to oust in Las Vegas. Notwithstanding, when Carlo gets into a vehicle set out toward the air terminal, he is quickly garroted to death by Clemenza, on Michael's requests. Afterward, a crazy Connie defies Michael at the Corleone compound as movers divert the furniture in anticipation of the family move to Nevada. She blames him for killing Carlo in requital for Carlo's merciless treatment of her and for Carlo's speculated inclusion in Sonny's homicide. After Connie is taken out from the house, Kay questions Michael about Connie's allegation, however he won't reply, reminding her to never get some information about his business for sure he accomplishes professionally. She demands, and Michael through and through lies, consoling his better half that he assumed no part in Carlo's demise. Kay trusts him and is eased. The film closes with Clemenza and New Kapoor James Rocco Lampone and Al Neri showing up and offering their appreciation to Michael. Clemenza kisses Michael's hand and welcomes him as Ware Corleone. As Kay watches, the workplace entryway is shut,